Personal story segment tonight. New poll from Pew Research says that over the past 7 years, Democrats who are not affiliated with any religion have risen from 19 to 28%. So about a third of Democrats in the USA are not conventional churchgoers or prayers or anything like that. This is now Brian Kilmeade, traditional guy, is author of the big new history book, Thomas Jefferson and the Tripoli Pirates, I should say, The Forgotten War, That Changed American History. We'll get to that in a minute. When you read this poll, and I'm being unfair because there are spiritual people who just don't align themselves with any faith, and that's true. But there is a growing secularism in the Democratic Party that I think is reflected in their positions. Do you agree?
I do. And what I did is, when I got the assignment, I talked to 3 Democrats today. And I said, what do you think of this poll and what do you think it is? They said, number one, for most millennials, they look at this poll and they, for the most part, declare themselves Democrats. Even if they're not, they feel more comfortable saying they're
younger
Democrats.
People, right.
Younger people do it. So what are the 2 issues that matter most? Pot. Number one, legalize, we want to do it, and same-sex marriage. That seems to be resonating on campuses, even for those who might lean conservative. And what is the structure? The structure is in the church. They say they say no to both things. So they say, yeah, I'm spiritual, I got my value system, but I don't need to go to the church every Sunday because fundamentally I'm beginning to disagree. And I have a third opinion, just my own. I see the Christians being slaughtered by Muslims. I see Shia and Sunni wiping each other out. I see the Israelis and Palestinians stabbing and shooting each other. And I say to myself, if I'm 22 years old, I don't want any part of that. I know what's right and wrong.
You can blame religious factions for, and as part of your history book coming up, for violence, and that's always happened. But what I think it is that now it's peer pressure. When I was in college during the Vietnam War, I was the only one in the chapel at Marist College. I would go to Mass, it was just me. Wow. And I would go, hey, can you speed it up, Father? It's just me, all right? Just get me out of here in 20 minutes.
Confession.
Nobody, okay? Because the trend was secular, this and that. And then, that came back a little bit. But the peer pressure now is, hey, if you're a Catholic, you're an idiot. If you're an observant Jew, what's wrong with you? This is what's on the street, and this is what's happening.
I think it is. I think all of that is true.
Abortion is a big thing in the Democratic Party, too.
I think so, too. And the other thing is the Little Sisters of the Poor conflict. And I think when the Cardinal Dolan felt as though the rug was pulled out for him by the president by not getting the exemption in Obamacare, it ended up being the president who represents the next generation and the old school church who said, I was duped. And perhaps we divided that.
If you're a liberal person, the secularism is in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So it's harder to be affiliate yourself. All right. Now, Kilmeade had a big hit with the Washington Spy book, right?
Thank you for your support on that.
And this book on the Tripoli Pirates, this was the first ever Marine operation, U.S. Marines, going over to Tripoli, Libya. All right. Why'd they do it?
Essentially, we had no choice. We had no army in 1784, and the next thing you know, we have our first crisis without a president. Just the Articles of Confederation are guiding this country. And we want to find out why our merchant ships can't go through the Mediterranean, and they're being captured. Our cargo's being plundered. Our guys are being enslaved. And we found out we send over Jefferson and Adams to meet in London. We say to the ambassador, what's your problem? And essentially he says, by the Quran's mantra, we can actually do what we want
because you're an infidel.
Because you're an infidel.
So the Americans are trying to trade, to develop the American economy, because after the revolution we needed money, all right, and they couldn't go into the Mediterranean Sea because these pirates from Tripoli would attack the ships and kidnap the Americans and take all the stuff. But we didn't have the capacity to right the wrong, right?
We didn't. And Adams said, I met these guys. Unless we want to fight them, and I'll paraphrase, unless we want to fight them forever, we better not fight them at all. Jefferson said, the more we let them go, the worse this is going to get. Jefferson proved right. When Adams finally had a Navy, thanks to Washington's commission, he chose not to fight. When Jefferson got that Navy,
got to be president,
he said he became president, and he said, I'm not making the payments. They're going to declare war on us. And they did. And the thing that changed everything around, Bill O'Reilly, was when we decided to go on the ground, starting in Alexandria, Virginia, led by a man named William Eaton and Presley O'Bannon of the Marines.
All right, from the halls of Montezuma to the
shores of Tripoli.
That comes from Kilmeade's book, Jefferson and the Tripoli Pirates. So, good history book, good lesson. Thanks for coming on.
And thanks for being a great role model on this.
Usually Kilmeade's in bed at this time, but he's staying up late for us tonight. And you have your jammies back there. You change real quick.
Right. It's a unitard. I just snap them on.